Welcome to Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, site of round 8 of the Cooper Tires prototype lights powered by Mazda. Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, or Mosport International Raceway as it used to be known, has been the site of some fantastic battles over the years in ALMS and in IMSA, and this year surely will not disappoint. So let's get right to it and look at round 7 highlights from this weekend. Sean Rahal and Ryan Booth would lead the pack to the line for the start of round 7 of the Cooper Tires prototype lights powered by Mazda, and they would get a great jump out and lead, and Ryan Booth would take the lead into turn 1. Canadian Tire Motorsport Park is a very tight and fast racetrack, as we see number 34 John Brownson pulling up alongside Dan Goldberg into turn 2. As Sean Rahal and Ryan Booth continue to lead, number 10 Mikhail Golikberg seems to have a mechanical issue and drops out. Mikhail Golikberg finished second in the championship last year to Tristan Nunez. Ryan Booth and Sean Rahal getting loose around 5C, really starting to pull out a hefty lead here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. Looks like these two young guns are going to do their trademark runaway as Dan Goldberg looks to the inside of John Brownson but can't make the move stick. We see the two 8-star motorsports entries battling each other here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. Teammates or not, they are both wanting those podium steps, and they're going to fight each other hard here in the Cooper Tires prototype lights powered by Mazda. We see another battle within the overall race, the Masters class, the 05 Level 5 entry of Scott Tucker, a fantastic driver, fresh to the Masters class this year. As we see the battles back through the pack continuing to be heated as he slides it around 5B into 5C. Sean Rahal looks to the inside of Ryan Booth and they touch, but Ryan Booth will be able to hold the position as he heads into turn 9, going into turn 10, heading straight for the start-finish line, and Ryan Booth running hard, runs off the track. A little bit of grass, but he's able to continue on. Penalties being assessed. Hard racing sometimes results in penalties. And Ryan Booth and Sean Rahal going at it again into turn 8. It looks like they touch again, and Ryan Booth spins. And he is off into the grass, and Sean Rahal will inherit the lead. That will not be pleasing to Ryan nor his team owner, Brent O'Neill. The battles still continue to rage as Dan Goldberg heads around, making the pass on John Brownson going into turn 1. This is a fast, flat-out turn, and he's going to make it stick. Dan Goldberg doing a fantastic job driving here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. John Brownson leading the Masters class, and he gets hit, and he spins off into the grass. A nice bit of driving to be able to control it there by John Brownson and back onto the track. But the 8-star motorsport entry was able to not continue and suffer some damage. And at the restart, it would be Sean Rahal coming to the line. Sean Rahal, not having to battle against Ryan Booth, is going to pull out a hefty lead. Ryan Booth, his main contender, not on the track. Sean Rahal can cruise a little bit, use his talent, and pull out a healthy lead over Dan Goldberg of Performance Tech as Dan Goldberg tries to make the move, going around turn 2 and into turn 3. This is some exciting racing as you see the pack battling for position, trying to squeeze out every point. And at the line, it would be Sean Rahal, winner of round 7 of Cooper Tires prototype lights powered by Mazda from Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. As we await the command for the start of this race and for drivers to start their engines, let me introduce Reg Tarleton, former IMSA driver and broadcaster, who will be sitting in for Anthony Downs for round 8 of the Cooper Tires prototype lights powered by Mazda.
Thanks, Matt. Great to be behind the microphone again. Looking forward to a great prototype lights race from Canadian Tire Motorsport Park.
We're sitting here on board with number 6 Daniel Goldberg of Performance Tech, who will be our on-board camera for this exciting round 8 Cooper Tires prototype lights powered by Mazda as we get the command for drivers to start their engine.
Looks like we're about to get rolling here.
Absolutely looking forward to an exciting race as Dan Goldberg gives the thumbs up. He's ready to go. He'll be starting in 3rd position today behind Ryan Booth and Sean Rahal. As we see the Canadian Tire Motorsport walk bridge, they're grouped up behind the pace car, getting ready to start. Sean Rahal and Ryan Booth starting 1-2. Hopefully they'll keep it clean this time.
Hopefully it'll be clean. We don't need any trading paint, just good, clean racing.
That's one of the great things about the Cooper Tires Prototype Light Series is it is a very competitive, close series, but these drivers are all respectful of each other, both in the L1 class and in the L1 Masters class. They're getting tightened up. They're getting ready. Ryan Booth will be leading them to the line as he had the fastest lap in round 7, even though he did have a spin. And we are on board with Dan Goldberg as it's a green flag here for round 8 of the Canadian Tire Motorsport Park Cooper Tires Prototype Lights race.
On board with Goldberg, going around turn 1 as we see Podolicchio taking third.
As the pack is coming around turn 2, very fast left-hander. You see that they've paved it off there to the left. That is for safety reasons. Used to be grass there, and the drivers actually, if they put their right wheels off into that grass, it would carry them out at high speed into the tire wall. I bet that would hurt, wouldn't it, Reg?
Yeah, having been there, I can imagine how it feels.
As we see Ryan Booth and Sean Rahal heading into the 5ABC complex, also known as the Hairpin. They're beginning to pull out a little bit of a lead on the Podolicchio 8-Star Motorsports entry and Dan Goldberg of Performance Tech. As we see them heading down the back stretch, it's car number 18, Ryan Booth, leading car number 14, Sean Rahal. Ryan Booth and Sean Rahal are two of the young guns in this series. As we see Rahal looking to the inside of Ryan Booth, can he make the pass stick going into 9 and 10? And he is not able to do that. Ryan Booth will retain the lead, and that is the completion of lap 1 here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park.
Tremendous duel going on, just a tremendous duel.
Ryan Booth and Sean Rahal beginning to pull out even more of a lead on the number 3rd place car of Podolicchio, followed in 4th by Dan Goldberg. Dan Goldberg, a fantastic driver in his own right. He really knows how to push a car. He might not be the Ryan Booth or the Sean Rahal running up front, but he's had several wins to his name, and he is a fantastic driver.
Yeah, he's had a couple of track records this year also.
At Sebring, he had a tremendous track record where he beat the existing track record by Tristan Nunez in qualifying by almost 2 seconds. Talking with him afterwards, he said that everything just kind of came together and he was able to do a lot with it.
Booth and Rahal, two young guns, pushing each other as hard as they can as they lead the field. They're pulling away from 3rd place, literally tearing this track apart as they push each other. This can't continue at the rate that they're going. Here we see Goldberg has passed Podolicchio, taking 3rd place. This is a good time, though, for us to go on board with Daniel Goldberg and take a lap around Canadian Tire Motorsport Park.
On board with Daniel Goldberg as we head around the final turn 10 and across the start-finish line under the Michelin walk bridge, flat out through turn 1. Turn 1 is an extremely fast corner where you're going to use all of the track available. Heading into turn 2 is an extremely fast left-hander. You got to feather the throttle a little bit. You see where they've added some more pavement there on the right-hand side so that if you drop your wheels off, you don't slide out straight into the tire barrier. Around turn 3, going up through the gears into 5th, going to hit 6 right before the bridge, the Continental Tire walk bridge. Heading down into the 5A, 5B, 5C complex, also known as the Hairpin. Again, paving has been done to the left side of the track. There used to be gravel and grass out there, and if you lay your left wheels off, you can kind of slide out into the tire barrier again. Going down the back straightaway, this area is where you're going to see your fastest speeds. Up through the gears, into 6th gear, maxing it out, heading into the very fast turn 8. You're going to keep on the throttle, feather it a little bit, and get set up for your entry into turn 9. Entry into turn 9 is critical. If you miss it, you're off for your entry into turn 10, and it's going to slow you down as you head across the start-finish line for a lap at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park.
Thanks for that great track analysis, Matt. You really showed what a tight, difficult track this is to drive, and also how fast it can be.
This is a very fast track with some fast corners and an exciting place to watch great racing. Well, with that, let's head to the commercial break. Will Ryan Booth be able to hold off Sean Rahal? Will Dan Goldberg be able to move up into first or second position? We'll find out right after the break. We're back to racing here from Canadian Tire Motorsport Park for round 8 of the Cooper Tires Prototype Lights powered by Mazda. As Ryan Booth and Sean Rahal cross the start-finish line to complete another lap, Ryan Booth is holding a comfortable lead on Sean Rahal, even though they're still tight and dueling each other lap after lap. They have really pulled out a lead on third place, which isn't even visible in the screen at this moment, as we see the level 505 entry of Scott Tucker leading the Masters class. Scott Tucker, a fantastic driver, participates in a lot of different racing formats, including LMP2 and the ALMS.
Tucker is a very workmanlike driver, and he shows his skills in every class that he drives in.
Well, we see Podium and Tucker continuing to battle it out as they're going through a very fast turn here, heading into the hairpin. And they're really side by side, getting close to touching. We'll see if they can. Well, and Scott Tucker makes the wise move, and he backs off just a little bit so as to not cause a much larger accident.
Scott's maturity showed there.
Yeah, Scott is really one of the predominant features in the Masters class. He battles quite well with the L1 class, as we see the other predominant driver in the Masters class, number 34, John Brownson. John Brownson, I love to watch. We call him Mr. Excitement. John Brownson is always on the edge, and he competes for overall podiums, not just podium in the Masters class.
I think this battle is going to get exciting in just a moment.
Well, we saw the other battle get exciting. The Podium 8-Star Motorsports entry and Scott Tucker have come together at turn 10. Podium was able to keep on going, and it looks like the level 5 entry may be stranded. We'll have to see if that brings out a full core caution as we watch Ryan Booth, very slow on track. Seems to have some mechanical issue.
Yeah, he certainly does. All of a sudden, something happened, and what do we have here?
Well, this is Scott Tucker. He was able to get the car moved across the track. He has stopped just past the apex of turn 10.
He's calling it a day.
Yeah, he's done, and that will bring out the full course caution. So we are under full course caution here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, and Ryan Booth has slowed dramatically. He is no longer competing for the victory here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. We'll see if he can keep on going in general, as the safety crews are trying to get Scott Tucker's car moved out of the racing line, and Ryan Booth simply pulls off the track to let everybody by. He has a serious mechanical issue.
Really serious.
It's kind of dramatic that he would be slowed this much, going directly from leading the race to having such a mechanical issue show up that it slows him so dramatically, as we see the Siemens-sponsored Level 5 Motorsports Lights car. And Ryan Booth is taking it to the pits. He's going to find out what's going on.
Yeah, he sure is. Hopefully he can get it back on the track here shortly.
Yeah, if he can get it back on the track, he may be able to recover some positions, but he's not going to be competing for the victory here. So Sean Rahal leads him around. Daniel Goldberg, number 6, Performance Tech, Ryan Booth's teammate, inherits second place, and John Brownson, L1 Masters class, leading the Masters class, is also in third as we get the green flag. Dan Goldberg is now going to take it to Sean Rahal and see if he can take up where Ryan Booth left off.
Where you see Dan Goldberg, you usually see something happening.
Dan Goldberg is also a very exciting driver. He really knows how to push the car, as we see John Brownson and Podium also battling with Mikhail Goldberg, the 10 car, just behind them. And we see De Leonardis, another 8-Star Motorsports entry back there, the 4 car. So this back pack battle is really going to heat up. We see these cars only separated by a fraction of a second, nose to tail into the hairpin, pulling out. Dan Goldberg is going to try to get away from John Brownson because he knows how much of a threat John Brownson can be.
Brownson can be a threat. He's a temperamental guy, and he really pushes hard on the track.
Yeah, John Brownson pushes hard on the track, and love to see him in the paddock afterwards, especially when something, let's say, goes a little bit not to his favor. He's usually quite animated.
Yes, he is animated to say the least.
As we see him heading around turn 8, turn 9, and to turn 10 to complete the first green flag lap back after the caution, Sean Rahal is pulling out a healthy lead over Daniel Goldberg. Daniel Goldberg simply is not able to keep up with Rahal. As we see the backpack battles continue, heading around turn 1. Podolicchio overcooks it a little. Good thing there was pavement off on the other side of those rumble strips.
Let's talk about the L1 prototype class vehicle. It's an Elan Motorsports Technologies DPO2 with a Mazda 2-liter 4-cylinder MZR engine. The engine produces 235 horsepower at 8,000 RPMs and a top speed of 170 miles per hour.
The L1 prototype class car, being a spec car, makes for some fantastic racing, and these are lightweight, very quick prototypes. So that's why you get excellent racing, and when you put 15, 20, 25 of these cars out on a track, it is fantastic to watch. As we see, Ryan Booth has completed his service on his car. Hopefully he has sorted the mechanical issue, as he is pulling back out of the pits, and he is rejoining this race several laps back, but nevertheless he's able to rejoin the race and get back into the competition. Maybe he'll be able to save a couple of spots in the long run.
Sean Rahal continues to lead with Goldberg in second and Brownson in third.
Just behind Brownson is Podolicchio. Podolicchio and Brownson have been going at it all race, so we'll see if John Brownson can claim first in Masters and also get on the overall podium. As we're watching the battles back within the pack, Podolicchio, one of the 8-star Motorsports entries, trying to work his way back up through the field.
Podolicchio's moving up closer.
Absolutely, and Sean Rahal continues to move out further from second place. Rahal, a fantastic racer, usually is hounded by Ryan Booth, or Ryan Booth is in first and Rahal is hounding him. But here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, looks like Rahal has the edge on the field. Goldberg just simply can't catch up to him.
Goldberg's running a fantastic race in second place.
As we ride on board with Goldberg, oh, and did you see his foot came right off him? Another time at Laguna Seca, as we look at in replay, at Laguna Seca, Dan Goldberg also lost the very same piece of bodywork on his car, and it has happened here again at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park.
Amazingly, at Laguna Seca, he caught it.
That was true. He did catch it, and we actually saw that on the inboard. So if you did not catch the race from Laguna Seca, look back and get that video footage and watch Dan Goldberg actually catch the piece of bodywork flying off, and he goes through and throws it off to a corner worker. So very quick reflexes. Now we know why race car drivers have quick reflexes.
We see that Ryan Booth is back on track trying to make up a few positions.
Yeah, Ryan Booth had the mechanical issue earlier, and he was able to pit and hopefully get that mechanical issue sorted, and he's back on track. Hopefully going to be able to recover a little bit, but he is wedged pretty far back in the pack, and there's really no hope for a podium finish for Ryan Booth this day.
That's true. He's just lost too much time. Sorry, Matt, didn't mean to step on your feet there.
That's quite all right. It happens when you're doing live commentary. But we see the back of the pack battles continuing. We see DeLeonardis, number 4, followed by his teammate Podolicchio. And these guys are really going to run at it hard, no matter where they are. The wonderful thing about lights racing is no matter where these guys are in the pack, because we have two classes. We have the lights L1 class, which is the overall leader class, and then we have the, and Podolicchio is pulling into the pits. Looks like he has a mechanical issue himself. The Venezuela-sponsored 8-star Motorsports car looks like it could be done for the day. I'm not sure what's going on there. I don't see a flat. Do you see anything, Reg?
No, I don't see anything. Even if he's not done, he's losing a lot of precious time.
And that is one thing about lights racing. As we see with Ryan Booth, and as we alluded to here with Podolicchio, when you're talking a prototype lights race, if you have to come into the pits for anything, you are mired back into the field, and there is really very little hope of being competitive for the rest of the race. So any pit stops and lights really result in a tremendous loss of position.
It requires perfection on the part of the driver and the crew.
That is very true. These lights cars are just like any other technological. Well, now we see it was not a mechanical issue. It was a penalty. So we'll have to see if we can figure out some information on that penalty and get back to you on that. But again, a penalty pretty much takes you so far back. It's very, very difficult to recover. As we see, Goldberg has reclaimed his position as number 2, and John Brownson in 3rd place, followed by Potolicchio. These 3 guys are really kind of going at it. Potolicchio looks like he's struggling a little bit to keep up with Goldberg and Brownson. Perhaps he's pushing it too much.
Yeah, he might be pushing it a little bit too much.
Well, coming around turn 2, any action with cars side by side is going to be exciting, because turn 2 is one of those corners where you really have to watch yourself very, very closely. It's fast and it's dangerous.
Well, we haven't gotten any further word on the penalty that took place.
Could have been a penalty for avoidable contact. Could have been a combination of avoidable contact and a mechanical issue. But we'll try to find out during the commercial break, and we'll be back to the action to see how the top 3 places sort out here at the Cooper Tires Prototype Lights, powered by Mazda, Round 8 from Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. We'll be right back. And we're back to racing here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park for the Cooper Tires Prototype Lights, powered by Mazda, Round 8. And as you saw, as we were going away to the commercial break, car number 3, the 8-star Motorsports entry of Potolicchio, was pulling behind the wall after he served his penalty. So no word yet on what caused that retirement, but as soon as we get word, we will get it to you. As we're watching the number 6 car of Daniel Goldberg being hounded by the Masters class leader, John Brownson.
John Brownson is really an exciting guy, and he's known as Mr. Excitement, as you said earlier, but he's a very good driver. And
Mr. Excitement is a fantastic driver, and I love to watch him. As he never fails to provide that level of excitement. John Brownson sends it sideways out of turn 5B.
Even after that slinging of his rear end out, John Brownson's hanging in there pretty close to Goldberg.
Yeah, he was able to recover very quickly, not lose too much position to Dan Goldberg, and not lose any position with Christian Potolicchio behind him, as they're coming around turn 9, coming around turn 10 to complete another lap. It is Sean Rahal well into the lead, followed by Dan Goldberg and John Brownson in 3rd.
Yeah, we seem to have settled down at this point. But Brownson's coming up a little bit on Goldberg, it looks like.
Brownson's very fast. Brownson's going to, I have a feeling he'll recover very quickly as we go on board with Dan Goldberg. Dan Goldberg giving us a little bit of a perspective here of Canadian Tire Motorsport Park for the old dogs like myself.
Yeah.
It's a little bit difficult to get out of that habit of saying Mosport. But we see Lamont Harris and Danny Mancini going at it here. 2 guys in the Masters class. They are no slouches themselves, and continuing with the battles back within the pack. Always exciting racing here at the Cooper Tires Prototype Lights, powered by Mazda.
No matter where you look at the pack, you'll see exciting racing.
Absolutely. Oh, whoa. And there we go. Out of the mouths of babes, so to speak. Speak of the devil, and the devil appears, and we have a spin coming out of 5B. Leonardis with 8-Star Motorsports looked like he caused that. Got into the back of the ANSA Motorsports car. That is Michael Klumecki, I believe. And we'll see if he can get it restarted and continue, or if that's the end of his race. Picking back up with Goldberg, Brownson, and Potolicchio, going for those last 2 steps. Klumecki gets the ANSA Motorsports entry restarted, but we'll see where that ends up.
That's good that he's got it going, but he's lost a lot of time.
And as we said earlier, in lights, the smallest error really puts you so far back in the field. It's extremely hard to recover. And we see, sadly, Ryan Booth is back into the pits, and it looks like a lot of sad faces. So not exactly sure that's going to end up being a good result. Looks like that mechanical issue may have just finally put him out of the race.
And right here's a really good race going on between these three.
Yeah, Goldberg and Brownson. You know, Goldberg and Brownson, they are going to battle at it tooth and nail. And Christian Podolico might be playing it cool right now.
Yeah, very well could be. Just waiting on them to see if possibly they take each other out. And sorry we're not showing you Sean Rahal, but he's checked out.
Yeah, Sean Rahal has checked out. He is well into the lead. We see the ANSA Motorsports car of Michael Klumecki coming into the pits. That might be the end of his day. Looks like.
I think so.
Yeah, I think that could be the end of his day, as we see Goldberg and Brownson coming upon slower traffic.
Well, we've got 3 wide.
Yeah, that's one thing about lights racing. These guys will definitely take a few extra risks, and that lapped traffic packs them back together.
Brownson and Podolico are trying to move on Goldberg, and Podolico especially on Brownson.
Yeah, they've really packed up nicely together. As we see the number 4 car of De Leonardis, the 8-star motorsports entry, pulling into the pits. Wonder if he's got a mechanical issue. Seems to be something that's plaguing a lot of the teams today.
Yeah, it sure does. This race.
And Brownson is around and into the wall hard.
Into the wall hard with that front right corner.
Yeah, I wonder if he was helped around by Podolico or if he just overcooked it and spun on his own.
If he did overcook it, fine. If he didn't, it's going to be a problem.
Yeah, looks like he's got it moving, and he's going to try to nurse it back to the pits. He's got a lot of right front damage there. You can tell by the way that car's tracking.
Also, he's starting to get a little smoke from that right front corner.
Yes, he is getting a little bit of smoke, and that's showing an indication of wear. So I'm not sure what's going on, and we're going to get a little bit better look here at the right front. It is really damaged quite heavily, and he's really kind of going quite fast back to the pits. I think I'd ease it up a little bit.
He's slinging a few parts off that car, it looks like, and he's got fiberglass damage, and wow, he's getting a lot of smoke.
Yeah, he's going way too fast with that car. It's going to that's no way. Oh,
whoops, there it goes.
Yeah, that's no way to nurse it back to the pits. But this is Mr. Excitement we're talking about.
Yeah,
he's got to provide a little bit extra. And John is going to be upset with himself. He's going to be upset with Podolico if Podolico helped him around. But could not tell from the original camera angle. And De Leonardis did not have a mechanical. He has a penalty. So penalties being handed out quite a bit here.
Double yellow.
Yep, we got a safety car. So let's look at some replays here. From this camera angle, it looks like he just overcooked it.
Yeah, he did. He had slung the rear end out earlier, and he did this time, and it bit him.
Yeah, Podolico did not help him out a bit there.
Not a bit.
I don't think. And
a lot of damage.
Lots of damage. I mean, Brownson's car is, and he left shards of fiberglass around the track. Those are going to have to be picked up. Lots of cleanup. John Brownson, thankfully, is okay. We always like to see the drivers make it out of accidents in one piece.
As you can see, they've got John's car on the hook.
Yep, John's car is getting moved out of there. We're going to get this cleaned up. Klumecki's car, the Momo-sponsored ANSA Motorsports car, looks like he's done for the day, a result of the spin he had. Pace cars bringing them around 5B, 5C. Sean Rahal's lead has evaporated. Goldberg is now right up on his tail, and Podolico will inherit third place from Brownson.
Yeah, so we're going to get some close racing here with Sean Rahal possibly.
Yep, that will be a good thing as we have 11 minutes and 35 seconds remaining in this 45-minute timed race here of the Cooper Tires Prototype Lights powered by Mazda from Canadian Tire Motorsport Park.
I'd like to make a comment here, and that's the fact that many people look at what they're doing and they say, I could drive that car and I can do what they do. But folks, the kind of physical strength and endurance that is exhibited by these gentlemen out there on the track is immense. They are working hard, really, really hard.
That is the truth. It is, motorsports is something where a lot of people think it's just a guy sitting in a car driving and then there's no big issue. But we'll see here as Sean Rahal is taking the green flag, followed closely by Dan Goldberg. They both got a pretty good lead out on Podolicchio, and Podolicchio, the top three, checked out immediately. Did you see that move from Lamont Harris on the inside of turn 1? Harris made up 3 positions right there on the inside of turn 1. Fantastic move. He was on it with that one.
Great move by him, and he's really moving up through the field.
Right up there behind Mikhail Goldberg. There's Joel Janko, the number 25 car. Love to see. Oh, Janko almost turns it over.
Almost went over.
That was close, folks. That was that could have been bad. That really could have been bad.
I hope we can get a replay on that.
I will definitely try to see if we can get a replay, because Janko almost flipped it. These cars are extremely stable cars. If you are a regular viewer of the prototype lights, you'll notice that the cars spin a lot. The cars will, if they get off track, they will lose it and they will go towards the wall. They recover well from damage, and here's our replay. We see Janko overcooks it off into the grass, and it looks like, well, close. It looks like his tires just simply caught in the grass, and it almost turned him over. And that's rare for these cars.
He's
They are
a lucky
extremely
man.
stable. Yeah, he's very lucky. These cars are extremely stable. As we're getting another view here, you can see he's kicking up a lot of, he just bit down with the edge of the car into the grass, caught a bump there, and it almost turned him over. These cars are extremely stable. They usually don't turn over, and even then, that kind of accident in another car would have caused a rollover, and these cars, with the stability they have, the low center of gravity, it kept it from rolling over. So fantastic safety here for these cars. Janko is done. He has got to go into the pits, and his car is done for the day, and change his racing suit.
Yeah,
So,
I think that's going to be a necessity.
yeah, that will be. As we're watching Sean Rahal and Dan Goldberg continue to lead, first place Rahal, second place Goldberg, third place Christian Podolicchio. They are checking out from the rest of the field. It's going to be very difficult for anybody to catch these 3 guys at the front of the field. We see Ryan Booth several laps down in the 4th position in line, but he is multiple places back into the running order. He is not competing for a podium step at this time. 8 minutes to go, but let's take a commercial break and see how this race shakes out. Will Rahal hold out Goldberg? Let's find out after the break. Welcome back to Canadian Tire Motorsport Park for Round 8 of the Cooper Tires Prototype Lights powered by Mazda. We're looking at the 10 car of Mikhail Goldberg. He was our 2nd place finisher in the championship last year to Tristan Nunez, but Sean Rahal, car number 14, is the man of the hour. He's leading this race handily, followed by Dan Goldberg in 2nd place and Christian Podolicchio in 3rd. Podolicchio and Goldberg are going to try to chase down Rahal, but that is going to be a pretty tall order for the day.
For the racing fan, this is the kind of race that has settled out, and he can really enjoy watching the drivers go around the track. They're pushing themselves, they're driving to their ultimate, but you can really just appreciate the way that they're driving, the lines they're taking.
And Joel Janko, the 25 car, who had a near flip coming out of turn 3. He's got a little bit of damage still, but he's coming out of the pits, got some repair work done, and he's going to try to salvage a few places.
I think that damage that was done there on the front was a result of almost going over, and the tire went up and tore it loose.
Yeah, and he just kind of caught into the edge of the grass, and it nearly flipped him, but the stability of these cars settled the car back down, and he was able to continue on. Sean Rahal is called up to Janko, and he's going to pass Janko, and he's going to do it very gingerly. He's going to make it a safe pass. Janko's going to get out of his way and let the leader by. Respect, that's what these guys are about. They're good racers. They know how to use their cars to the limit, but they also respect each other, and they're not out here beating and banging.
That's right. You hear about trading paint and hitting on each other.
That doesn't happen.
These guys
here.
don't do it.
No, that doesn't happen here. These guys are not out there muscling each other out of the way. They're letting their talent with their car and the preparation that the team has given them in their car, win the day. As we see on board with Dan Goldberg, he's really he closed on Janko very quickly going into turn 8. But Goldberg really needed to get around Janko. Hopefully he can use that as a way of catching back up to Rahal some, but Podolicchio also was able to get around as we watch Goldberg and Podolicchio. This is the real battle on the track right now, as there's 5 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in this 45-minute timed race. Podolicchio is going to try to get second place from Goldberg, and Goldberg's going to do everything he can to prevent it.
Podolicchio's going to try every trick in his bag of tricks to get past Goldberg, and Goldberg's going to pull out all the stops, and he's going to make sure that Podolicchio doesn't get by him.
And Goldberg's pretty savvy. He's not a rookie. He's an experienced racer, and Podolicchio is going to have to pull out some tricks that Goldberg's never seen, and that's going to be pretty difficult to do, especially on a guy like Daniel Goldberg, who's got experience, got some wins under his belt, got some records to his name, and I don't think Podolicchio is going to be able to do it at all. But we shall see.
No, I don't think so. And it's enjoyable to watch these guys drive. They're just not out for a Sunday afternoon drive, but they are. They're
just
running
having
a
fun.
good race.
Just having fun. There's two different classes here. Every time I've tried to explain the two different class structure, we have usually been interrupted by some on-track activities. But let's talk about the class structure. L1 class, which is the main lead class, which you see here with Dan Goldberg and Christian Podolicchio. L1 class cars are the same as the L1 Masters class cars, but the Masters class is differentiated by the fact that the Masters participants are over the age of 40 and who derive their, let's say, racing career later in their lives. They didn't start off at the age of 13 in a go-kart and work their way up through the ranks. The regular L1 class has guys like Sean Rahal, Daniel Goldberg, Christian Podolicchio. Last year it was Tristan Nunez, Mikhail Goldberg also this year. These are guys who are professional racers who got their start young in life, and they're trying to work their way up through the ranks. Also, one thing to note, the Cooper Tires prototype lights powered by Mazda is part of the Mazda ladder system. The championship winner in L1 will get a shot in an LMPC car in the American Le Mans Series, which next year will be United Sports Car Racing. So there is definitely incentive for your L1 class champion. He is going to be able to progress up through the ladder. And this year we saw Tristan Nunez doing quite well in the LMPC car. He's got a couple of podiums to his name in the American Le Mans Series and is doing quite a good job racing.
All of these young guys want to race in the big show. They want to race in the big race. And so they try to impress as much as possible and try to move up, get the points, and show people that they're worthy of driving in the big show.
As we see, Podolicchio is trying to fill up Goldberg's mirrors, but that's an old trick I don't think Goldberg's going to fall for. He's not going to be shaken by seeing Podolicchio popping back and forth between his mirrors. Goldberg's going to run his race. He's going to run his line. He's going to do it quickly. Podolicchio looks to the outside, but Daniel Goldberg sticking to his line, running a good race. Podolicchio is going to have to excel, and he's going to have to go faster than Goldberg, not trick him.
Goldberg's a pretty cool guy. He doesn't get too ruffled, and so he's going to take it easy and run his line, and
he's just going to run his race.
That's it.
He's going to run his race, and he's not going to overwork his car. Podolicchio, as you can see, has dropped back a little bit. Podolicchio, trying to fill up Goldberg's mirrors, made one of the typical errors in racing. He overcooked his car and he scrubbed speed, and he is having to overwork that vehicle with a minute and 45 seconds left in this timed race. Sean Rahal's checked out. He's gone. Podolicchio looks to the outside of turn 2. It's not going to make that stick. Goldberg retains his position. Podolicchio still in third. Podolicchio's looking, diving outside, inside. We'll see what happens, but I would predict that Goldberg, unless he makes a serious error, is going to be able to retain second place.
I think Goldberg's going to be able to stay in front of him, and he's driving with his mirrors to a certain extent. If he sees Podolicchio starting to move on him, he'll move over in front of Podolicchio and block him a little bit. Although we won't say that he was blocking.
Yeah, no, never blocking.
Never blocked, but he's going to be out there running his line, and he's going to make sure that he runs Podalicchio's line also.
Well, as we watch this battle and watch the second and third place battle unfold, we can't forget about this guy. Number 14, Sean Rahal, leading the race with 45 seconds to go. It looks like he's going to be getting the white flag here. This is the final lap. So Sean Rahal's got to play it cool, just run his race, run his line. Goldberg's not on his tail. Goldberg's 2 corners back. Rahal's just got to play it cool, and he's going to be able to claim the victory here. Podalicchio, again, looking to the outside of turn 2. That's going to be very difficult to make that kind of move.
He's not going to make it there, and so he just as well to settle back and take his third place position, but we know he's not going to do it.
Yeah, racers never do that. But Podalicchio's scrubbing speed. We see Goetberg is coming up behind him. Time is out, last lap, and Dan Goldberg is trying to hold off Christian Podalicchio for second place. Goldberg with Performance Tech, Podalicchio with 8 Star Motorsports. Podalicchio would like to get up on that second podium step right behind Sean Rahal, but he's going to have to battle a great racer in Dan Goldberg to be able to do that. I'm not sure Dan Goldberg is going to let Podalicchio by, as we see Sean Rahal coming around the 8, 9, 10 complex. Coming around turn 10, it's going to be Sean Rahal at the line, winning round 8 of the Cooper Tires Prototype Lights, powered by Mazda. Fantastic win to Sean Rahal, as we send Dan Goldberg, car number 6 in Performance Tech, taking second, followed by Christian Podalicchio of 8 Star Motorsports. Fantastic job to our top 3 finishers. So let's take a look at the final results. We have Sean Rahal, car number 14 of Comprint Motorsports, taking the victory, followed by car number 6, Daniel Goldberg of Performance Tech, followed by Christian Podalicchio, the number 2 car of 8 Star Motorsports. Our Masters winner is Lamont Harris of Comprint Motorsports, first-time Masters victory for Lamont. Fantastic job. So let's go down into the pits and talk to our winner, Sean Rahal of Comprint Motorsports.
Great weekend here for the Robert Talbot number 14 Mazda. Really couldn't have came away better with 2 poles and 2 wins. Big thanks to Racing Radios, Race Light Protection, 8 Star Motorsports for helping me. It's great to have Christian on the podium beside me. I'm his driver coach, and I work for 8 Star as well, so really couldn't have ended up better for all of us. And I really got to thank everyone that's behind me, all my fans and everyone behind me for my program. And nothing better than coming to Canadian Tire Motorsport Park for my first time and grabbing 2 wins in this IMSA Light Series.
Well, that's it for us here at round 8 of the Cooper Tires Prototype Lights, powered by Mazda, from Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. Congratulations to our winner, number 14, Sean Rahal of Comprint Motorsports. He did a fantastic job, followed by Daniel Goldberg of Performance Tech and Christian Podalicchio of 8 Star Motorsports. Congratulations to all of our L1 class podium. Also, congratulations to Lamont Harris, also of Comprint Motorsports, on his Masters class victory. Great job to Lamont Harris, and great job and great weekend for Comprint Motorsports. Well, that's it from Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. Make sure to catch us next time from one of the most exciting tracks, Road America. We'll see you then.